Hello, astronaut students. My name is Mrs. Gordon. For those that don't know me, I'm part of the Astronaut Student Services Counseling Team, and I serve astronaut as the school social worker. Well, I'm very proud of Brevard Public School District, who feels it's really important for us not to just teach you math, English, science, which those are important, but also teach you valuable social and emotional life lessons that can help you after high school be successful and happy. And so the district has come up with 4 topics, 4 life lessons. In each of your classes today, we're going to be spending some time on those lessons. We're going to start with lesson 1 today in this class, and let me share my screen and we'll get started. Okay, here we are. Social emotional learning, life lesson 1 is about values, knowing and living up to values. And before we start talking about them, I wanted to let you know that in all 4 of the life lessons, we are going to be using AVID tools. Most of you have heard of AVID before. If you were here last year or at Madison Middle, you are familiar with this program. If you're not a problem. AVID is an in-school academic college prep program that provides students for success and prepares them for life and their careers. Here at Astronaut, we use AVID campus-wide in our class note-taking and in collaborative class activities. You will see us using AVID during these lessons, and you will use it during your time at Astronaut. Students, you will need an AVID note paper at the end of this session and throughout today's 4 lessons. Teachers, you should have received Cornell note paper in your mailbox to distribute to your students. If not, please call the front office and someone will deliver them to your classroom. Okay, so our first lesson, we're going to be talking about values. What are values? Why do they matter? Values are basically the guiding principle, our sense of what's right and wrong, and what we hold important in our lives. Why do values matter? Well, they matter for a few reasons. If we don't live up to our values, it's hard to have personal happiness and success. If we place too much importance on certain values, we can live up to those values and still not be personally happy or successful. Let's use an example. Let's say monetary things. Let's say we value monetary things. We want the latest iPhone or the coolest sneakers. Those aren't bad things, but focusing too much on them and willing to do whatever it takes to get them, that's when we're going down a slippery slope. Because I'll let you know a secret. I've had plenty of people with the best phones and the best looking clothes sitting in my office in tears. Because those things, while they may make you feel happy, initially, for a little while, they don't provide personal happiness or success. Being successful doesn't mean money or things. Being successful is that you have a good life, you're proud of who you are, and you're happy. So let's talk about positive values. Here are positive values. If you follow them to guide your thoughts, your words, your actions, they can help you achieve that happiness and that successful life. Let's look at them. Respect for self and others, honesty, kindness, courage, service, self-discipline, healthy lifestyles, responsibility, and commitment to family. We may have some of these more than others. We may be stronger in certain values, but all of these are important. And the truth is, when we get hit with a tough situation, that's when we can really see if we have these values and we're living up to them or not. So let's take a closer look. Using positive values in tough situations. Let's look at each one. Respect for self and others. This means that you're thoughtful and you're respectful to your needs, your beliefs, and your feelings, as well as respectful to the needs, feelings, and thoughts of others. That sounds easy, right? But you know it's hard when you strongly disagree with somebody. Let's face it, we don't have many people modeling this in the world today. Just look at social media. Have you seen those posts that say, let me know if you believe this, this, and this so I can defriend you? What? You know what that leaves you and the other person? Hurt, angry, and with no friends. Even if I agreed with that person in the post, I would think, dang, she's mean. He's mean. So when we're in a situation where we disagree with somebody, give them the respect of at least listening to them. Let's not be too arrogant to think that we're always and 100% right. Then, respecting your own beliefs, you can say something like, hey, I've really tried to listen to what you think, but I disagree with you. And then you can go ahead and explain why. You know, diversity is what makes the world beautiful. If we all look, thought, and talked the same, the world would be boring. So respecting ourselves and others can be a hard balance, but it is always the way to feel good about yourself and able to keep maintaining good, positive relationships. Honesty. Honesty is being truthful, fair, trustworthy, and most of us believe we're pretty honest. But what about when we are in a tough situation? Let's say your teacher miscalculates a grade and gives you a higher score than you earned on an exam. That's when it gets tough, right? Let's flesh out the honest reaction. You could go to your teacher at the end of the class and say, I think you made a mistake on my score. I think I really earned maybe 5 points less or whatever. What could happen? One, the teacher may be so pleasantly surprised that you were honest that they allow you to keep the higher grade since it was their error. Or your teacher, who is also a fair person, may thank you for bringing that to their attention, but may change your grade. Either way, you know when you get out of it, what do you get out of it? An adult, your teacher, someone who has influence over your life and your success, that person who thinks you are a student with impeccable character. And that should make you feel good. Moreover than that, this teacher might recommend you for a school award or scholarship, and then might even give you an amazing recommendation for college or a job. These things are well worth 5 points. Never underestimate the effects of doing the right thing. Kindness, showing care and concern for others. Let's say you have somebody in your class that looks sad or lonely. A little kindness goes a long way. How about smiling at them, opening the door for them, and letting them go before you when the bell rings? Just a small gesture that shows you see the person, you care about the person, and you think that they have value. This makes both you feel good and them feel good. Courage, being brave and standing up for what's right. You know, Sergeant Graham, our ROTC instructor, could tell you that courage and bravery are often misinterpreted. He knows there are times in combat when soldiers are scared, but they choose to go out and do the right thing anyways. That's what bravery and courage is. So let's say you see a student being picked on at lunch. You know it's the wrong thing, but hesitate to speak up. Courage could maybe look 2 ways. Maybe you tell an administrator there's a lot around during the lunchtime and in that area, right? Or maybe you go up to the kid that's being bullied and you say, "Hey, John, are you looking for a seat? We've got a seat for you at our table." Service is the next one. Service is helping and serving others. A lot of these examples are already ways you can serve, but let's give a shout out and an example to our e-learners out there. Maybe you're an e-learner and you are stuck with a lot of extra time and feeling bored or lonely, unmotivated. By the way, you don't have to be an e-learner to feel this way, right? But e-learners, you may have more time on your hand. If you're honest, filling it with hours of scrolling on your phone doesn't make you feel any better. You know what has been the best advice for people who suffer with depression, research shows? To encourage them to serve at a local nonprofit organization. Why? Because studies show people feel better when they help others. So even if we may not be suffering with depression, doing good things makes us feel good. And oftentimes you realize that no matter how rough things are for you, there are always people out there that have it worse. And you begin to be grateful for the life that you do have. Okay, I have talked enough. I am going to give you all an opportunity to interact with each other and practice using the last 4 values in tough situations. We are going to use the AVID strategy, think, pair, share. So listen up, teachers and students, because I'm going to give you some instructions. Teachers, in just a minute, I am going to ask you to pause the video and do this activity. Students, here's what I'd like you to do. When this presentation is paused, I want you to count off 1, 2, 3, 4 until everybody has a number. You are going to give a few minutes, you're going to get a few minutes to think about the value that corresponds with your number. For example, 1, discipline. Think about that value and come up with a tough situation that's relevant to that, just like the examples in the previous slide. After a few minutes, your teacher will say, "Time to pair." At that point, I want you to remain in your seats, but pair up with a shoulder partner, which is either the person closest to your right or left shoulder. With your shoulder partner, take turns discussing your value and asking your partner to respond positively to the tough situation you created. Your teacher will close the activity with a time to share. Ask 4 students, 1 from each value, to talk about their value, the definition, the tough situation, and the partner's positive response. Ready for the think, pair, share? Okay, teachers, pause the presentation. Now, also, this may be a great time for teachers to pass out the AVID notes. We will be using them in the next slide. Okay, pause, think, pair, share, and press play to continue. Okay, I hope you had a lot of good discussion and examples on how you can use values in tough situations. To end this lesson, we want you to take time to make it personal. On your AVID Notes, Cornell Notes paper, the top portion should be already complete for you and filled out. You just need to fill out your name. If it's not complete, just fill out the topic and objective part and write the essential questions. All of those things shown in blue on your screen. Then I would like you to complete the writing prompt in purple, describing a personal tough decision you're having now or you recently had, and use some values that we discussed to brainstorm a positive way to handle your situation. Also, make sure to write all the values in the left-hand column onto your paper. as shown on the screen. You may use them in later sessions, and they are good to have for personal reference. When you are finished, add this paper to the 3-ring binder portion of your binder before your first block tab. We will be adding to this paper throughout each session today, so keep it handy. Also, we are encouraging teachers to include this paper as part of their binder check. Once you've completed the Cornell notes, you have finished life lesson number 1. Teachers, you may pause and stop this presentation when appropriate. Enjoy the rest of your class.